Hell, ain't we about more fucked than a horror closing time, huh? Thanks to goddamn Mr. Dick and Son, huh?
Hey, what's up, world? I'm gonna start this video off a little different. Before I jump into this news, before I jump into expelling the truth, I want to just do a little bit of venting, a little bit of talking about me time. So, I'm exhausted right now. So if I sound a little different in this video, if I sound a little slower, a little less enthusiastic, it's not because I'm less enthusiastic, it's not because I'm down or depressed or anything like that. I'm just fucking exhausted. Yesterday I worked from pretty much 5 o'clock in the morning to like 8:30 at night. I was working 2 jobs yesterday. I gotta wake up for my first job at pretty much 5 o'clock in the morning, take my dog for a walk, get ready for that job, then work that job pretty much until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I took work home with me from that job. But after that job, I had my second job. So I did my second job, which was fortunately only an hour or so long. Got back home around 5 o'clock, ate some dinner. After I ate that dinner, it wasn't a very big dinner, I did the work that I took home with me until about 8:30 at night. Then I had to take my dog out for a walk, his last nighttime walk. Did a little workout during that walk. And then I woke up 6:30 this morning. Right now it's 8:30 in the morning. Took my dog out for a walk again. Did a little exercise again. Had some breakfast. I'm just beat. I smashed my shin in this week. Fucking smashed it clean open. It was pretty brutal. But I kept working anyway. Because I'm tough as nails. And I'm just beat. But I just want to say, and the reason why I'm talking about this, the reason why I'm even mentioning this right now, is to motivate all of you. There is no rest for the wicked. The wicked does not sleep. Well, I'm sure that they sleep once in a while. Of course, we gotta sleep. I'm not saying not to sleep. But we must be just as vigilant as they are. That's why the name of my other channel, which I made all those videos private for specific reasons, that channel was Vigilance Committee, because we have to be vigilant. We have to work together, and we have to, even when we're not working together, when we have little to virtually no support, like myself, you still gotta keep going. There are no excuses. But anyway, let's get right into dispensing some truth. So I'm sure you all saw this. I'm sure you all saw this little spat between these two actors. And that is something that must be made very clear. These are two actors. We are in a scripted reality. You're going to see there's so much fakeness. I'm going to show you in this video, even though I've shown you in plenty of other videos, how scripted and fake our reality is. And it's been like this for a very, very long time. But we have to remember, both of these men here are actors. And I'm not saying that they're actors now. I'm saying they were actually professional actors in their life. They know how to put on a show. That is exactly what we are seeing here. And it's being put on for very specific psychological reasons. And let's look into this, right? Let's go in. What's our first article here? So, okay, we're going to be looking at the mineral deal, right? So all of this was over the mineral deal that Trump is trying to sign with Ukraine. I already talked about this in our previous video, but I will mention it again now. This mineral deal, it's all about, securities for Ukraine. If we sign this mineral deal with Ukraine, if the United States, I say we like we're fucking part of these corrupt bastards, right? If the United States government signs this mineral deal with Ukraine, they are then essentially having a dog in the race. That is what's happening here. They don't need to have overt security deals signed. This will put the United States, this will create a vested interest in Ukraine with the United States. Because right now people are like, what's the point of us being on Ukraine's side, funding Ukraine? Okay, now this will have a supposedly $500 billion excuse for why we should be involved in Ukraine. But let's actually look at this, right? Let's read this article here that I stumbled across which I think was only really up for like a really short period of time. I got really lucky when I came across this article. So it was published February 26th of 2025 at this time, 11:44 Eastern Standard Time. I forget if this was 11:44 in the AM or the PM. Eastern Standard Time. I wish it actually said this here. But regardless, this is a time when people are either busy at work or busy asleep. And then it was taken down like within hours. Like it was like, well, not taken down, but it was buried, amongst a bunch of other ridiculous headlines. And I also just want to say, fuck you, Daily Mail, for now having like a Daily Mail Plus articles, like articles you have to pay for. Look at all these fucking ads. You guys have so many ads on your site. I mean, please, give me a break. But anyway, let's read this article. Does Ukraine really have trillions in minerals? Country isn't known to hold any reserves of any main rare earths, according to U.S. Geological Survey. And Trump's presidency may be over before mines can open. So Donald Trump's claim that the mineral deal he hopes to sign with Ukraine might be worth $1 trillion has been called into question due to a U.S. Geological Survey stating that Ukraine isn't known to hold any reserves of any main rare earths. How did I not notice this? This is an edit real quick. As I'm editing the video, I noticed something that I didn't notice while I was recording. So suddenly, the deal went from a $500 billion deal, or potential $500 billion in minerals, to now it's saying a mineral deal he hopes to sign with Ukraine might be worth $1 trillion. They just love to exaggerate. And they do this because they know that a majority of the population is too stupid to catch on to this. So from $500 billion, which it doesn't even have, to now it might be worth $1 trillion. Fuck it. I mean, while you're lying, while you're exaggerating, and while the American people are fast asleep with their thoroughly brainwashed minds, why not just say it might be worth $500 trillion? Trust me, the cult of personality that's following Trump around would fucking believe it. The Ukrainian Geological Survey last year claimed that the war-torn country had reserves of rare minerals, but U.S. scientists made no mention of such sought-after earths in their own U.S. Geological Survey 4 years ago. It's all fucking fake, people. You're being lied to, but in so many ways, and you're gonna see that. I mean, this isn't just the only thing that they're lying about. It's nothing but deception. What Ukraine has is scorched earth. What it doesn't have is rare earths. Bloomberg's regional expert Javier Blas said. Rare earths are a group of 17 metals used to make magnets that turn power into motion for electric vehicles, cell phones, missile systems, and other electronics. There are no viable substitutes. According to the Institute of Geology, Ukraine possesses rare earth elements such as lanthanum and cerium used in TVs and lighting, neodymium used in wind turbines and EV batteries, and iridium and yttrium, whose applications range from nuclear power to lasers. The EU-funded research also indicates that Ukraine has scandium reserves, but detailed data are classified. Zelensky said in an interview earlier this month that Russia had occupied about half of Ukraine's rare earth deposits. Mining analysts and economists say that Ukraine has no commercial operational rare earth mines, and projects to extract minerals could take years to develop and require large upfront investment. It's like, oh yeah, if there is something there, guess what? You're going to have to invest billions of dollars even to take it out, right? Who's going to be fronting that money? Is it going to be Ukraine? No, it's going to be your fucking tax dollars. Or maybe your private companies enriching themselves. They'll probably go over there and they'll probably get more involved in child trafficking with all of the orphans that have been created by the war. This would mean that Trump's presidency would likely be over before he could see the fruit of the minerals deal. Zelensky has praised the deal, but simultaneously hit the brakes on the agreement, as he said today. This is just a start, a framework. It can be a big success. The success will depend on our conversation with President Trump. But the deal may not be the colonial-style asset grab it appears to be at first. As Ukraine last mapped its rare earth metals decades ago, mostly between the 1960s and 1980s, when it was still part of the Soviet Union. The former Director General of the Ukrainian Geological Survey even admitted that there was no modern assessment of rare earth reserve in Ukraine and that existing mapping had relied on old exploration methods, according to the Center for Strategic and International Studies. And even the deposits visible on this mapping would be difficult to develop, as some require either advanced technology and a consistent energy grid for extraction, or are behind the front line on Russian-occupied territory, according to industry experts who spoke to S&P Global. Unfortunately, there is no modern assessment of rare earth reserves in Ukraine. Roman, this douchebag, former Director General of the Ukrainian Geological Survey, told Commodity Insights. And there is still restriction to make this information public. Yeah, that's right, they have this information classified, as we just saw. There are 6 rare earth reserves in Ukraine, but only this field in the Zaporizhia region reportedly appears to be a viable option. That's right, the Zaporizhia region where Russia's at. What's going on here? Get the fuck out of here. A $300 million investment would be needed to extract the rare earth and phosphate deposits there, in just that one region, according to Ukraine Mining Investment Opportunities, a report by the Ukrainian Geological Survey and the Ministry of Environmental Protection and Natural Resources of Ukraine. But the field presents relatively difficult hydrogeological and mining conditions, which only China, the US, and Russia would have the proven capacity to commercially recover. Rare earth elements from whatever a principal lithium analyst and at Benchmark Mineral Intelligence told S&P. All right, so the government estimates the sector's total investment potential at about 12 to 15 billion by 2033. The State Geological Survey, the State Geological Service said the government was preparing about 100 sites to be jointly licensed and developed, but provided no further details. Okay, maybe it's not this article. There was another article. Okay, so there was another article on this, which I don't think I managed to pull up. I don't think I managed to even bookmark it. It might have been on RT or something else. But somebody else said, I think it was actually a former president, and actually it was a former president of Ukraine, also commented on this. Not in this article, but another article, which I apologize I don't have pulled up right now. But he said, he's like, look, Ukraine's not even known for rare earth exports. And he's like, they don't exist. He's like, just basically like what is being said in this article in other terms, he basically said directly. He's like, this whole thing is basically BS. And that's exactly what it is. And it's funny because nobody ever asks these questions. It's like they just listen and believe. Somebody says that there's $500 billion of rare earths there. Nobody even questions, is there actually $500 billion of rare earths there? I've never known Ukraine as an exporter of rare earth minerals. It's all bullshit, people. You're being lied to. You're being deceived. This is another edit. Before I move on into the next article that I have lined up here, I just want to quickly share this text that one of my friends had sent out in one of our group chats, and I saw this like right after I recorded this video, and I thought it was worth including here. So one of my friends says this: I want the war to end immediately. This is, of course, Trump speaking. Oh, but sign this mineral deal so we can keep supplying you weapons to prolong the war indefinitely, while making massive profits. This is insanity, people. Why is nobody critically thinking like this? Well, not nobody, obviously a few people are. But why is a majority of the public not putting these pieces together? It's because they're all being hypnotized. They're all under some sort of hypnotic suggestion. Their brains are just so thoroughly washed. Their education, I guess, was just so bad that they can't fucking put these sorts of pieces together. It's ridiculous. Now let's move on to the next thing that I want to talk about. Something that I knew was going to happen. I should have actually made this prediction in a previous video, but unfortunately I didn't. FBI withheld thousands of pages of Jeffrey Epstein docs, Pam Bundy says, and she's demanding they be turned over. It's all show. I demand that they be turned over, and now people think that they actually have somebody fighting for her, and they think that Trump brought in somebody that wasn't a swamp creature. It's very simple. When Kash Patel, or whatever the fuck this guy's the new FBI, Director Kash Patel, when he came in, people were like, oh yeah, he's gonna drain the swamp. He's gonna be releasing the stuff that they don't want to be released. You people are idiots if you actually believe that. It was very obvious that he wasn't. And you know why I knew this was not going to be released? Why they were basically just going to release what has already been released? Well, because I have a memory a little bit longer than a goldfish's. And I swear, it's like people, I've mentioned this in another video, but I was talking to a Trump supporter a little while ago, and he thought Trump wasn't in office when the vaccines were pushed. He thought Biden was in office when Operation Warp Speed was enacted, and when the country was locked down, and when there was a national emergency declared over basically the flu. He thought Biden was in office when they were throwing all these checks to everybody after they locked down the country, and they said, oh yeah, we just got to lock down for 2 weeks to flatten the curve. People have an awful memory, and because I have a good memory, I remember articles like this. Jeffrey Epstein had 14 numbers connected to Trump in his contacts. This was published July 10th, 2019.
You dumb old mad scientist, you!
And it's really simple. I mean, you see Trump partying with the guy. I mean, Trump tries to claim, oh man, no, we're just acquaintances. If you believe that, you're a fool. If you believe that, your brain has been controlled and thoroughly washed by somebody else. And it's funny too, because Zero Hedge even reported on this. I had a screenshot when Zero Hedge reported that Trump's name, along with the Clintons and all of these other clowns, all of these other corrupt people who, if I had power, I would hold accountable immediately. I understand the true power of this country. I understand the true power of this Constitution and what I could do with it to actually set things straight and really, really correct things. Not like this fake POS right here is doing. But anyway, I remember that. I took a screenshot of it. I can't find that article now. When I Google it, when I do any sort of web search, I can't find it. So I consulted ChatGPT, and ChatGPT could only find one article. It's a different title than I remember, but ChatGPT said that that article is now basically behind a paywall. So if you want to find it, good luck finding it, and even if you do find it, you're going to have to pay to see that information. So Business Insider reported on this. Business Insider was not the only one. Right around the same time, the big names in Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book, Trump's, Clinton's, Prince Andrew, Bill Cosby, Woody Allen. This is basically what the name of the Zero Hedge article was, or the title of the Zero Hedge article was. It was something like this. And you can see right around the exact same time, a bunch of news outlets reported on this. July 22nd, 2019. This is like 3 days after the Business Insider article. Zero Hedge also reported on this. Now Zero Hedge is like, oh, crickets. You don't hear anything about, oh, Trump's name being in Epstein's logs in his books. You don't hear anything like that. And then people really thought that Trump's FBI was going to be releasing the truth about Epstein? Come on, people. Trump oversaw the Jeffrey Epstein assassination. It happened in a federal prison. Trump is the executive of the federal government. You don't think he could have found out real quick what really happened there? Why the cameras were turned off? Why the guards were not there? Come on. You all have such a terrible memory if you are buying the shit that is being sold right now. And the reason why you have a terrible memory, it's not entirely your fault. This is the brainwashing method, and this is what I believe I talked about in the previous video. Brainwashing is the process of constantly washing your brain clean with a bunch of other garbage information. This is why the news covers the shit that they cover. This is why they actually focus on these things, because they know that it has a psychological effect and a neurological effect to basically keep your brain clean of relevant information. That's what brainwashing really is. Washing one's brains out from retaining relevant and important information so they can just drop shit like this and you won't even think twice about it. And there's another perfect example about this. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you want to know who Trump really is, let's look at this article from just like a week and a half ago. This is Yahoo News, February 21st, 2025. Trump deletes database of federal police officers' misconduct. Completely deleted the database. The only person that I heard report on this was actually Brian from High Impact Flicks, which I guess I have to thank him for. I guess it's sort of relevant information. I guess he's not just covering just irrelevant information these days or complete misinformation like he used to. He used to spread total bullshit like, oh, contagious diseases don't exist. Fucking shill. Anyway, let's move on to our next article. Of course, this is also who Trump really is. Trump sparks outrage with AI video of his vision for Gaza that includes bizarre bearded belly dancers and a statue of himself. Yeah, that's right. He had these bizarre transsexual belly dancers in this video. Something that nobody really picked up on. What's up with this, huh? Kind of weird. But the weirdest and the best part of this video was him relaxing side by side by the war criminal fucking Netanyahu. I mean, it's really simple. Tell me who you hang out with, I'll tell you who you really are. If you're fucking rubbing elbows with a war criminal like Netanyahu, and you're not calling him out for what he's actually doing, and you're not calling out the other criminals for what they're really doing, and if you're bearing and you're classifying relevant information like all these pedos, I mean, this is what's really happening. By concealing that information, these Jeffrey Epstein, they're basically covering for pedophiles. Some of the worst human beings in the world. Pedophiles, human sex traffickers, people who are just so self-centered, they don't care about the effects that they have on other people's lives. These people are all awful. But yet, they're paraded through the streets like they're heroes. They're on the media outlets like they're freaking heroes. But anyway, let's look at this. This just goes more to the bullshit that's being, paraded around. U.S. judge issues deadline for Trump administration to pay foreign aid funds. So Trump is all like, oh yeah, look, we're saving all this money. No. You're actually violating contractual agreements. And once again, if you really cared about the money, you wouldn't sign off on these big, huge budgets blindly. Oh yeah, let's just sign off a multi-trillion-dollar budget. Let's not actually look into what it's funding. Let's just sign it off because, our government has been so responsible. He did that for 4 years straight, and he's going to keep doing that. These blind budgets just sending billions and trillions of dollars to irresponsible criminals. Let's look at the New York Post. Let's see what we have here. This is now going to be moving away from Trump and now over to Elon Musk. This article's hilarious. And it's hilarious especially to me because, once again, I don't have a goldfish memory. And I haven't sold my soul to these satanic, soulless demons. Elon Musk floats pay hikes for Congress, top government workers, to fight temptation for corruption. This is February 27th, 2025. Now, once again, because my brain is a little bit more hard than the other individuals' brains, because it doesn't allow itself to be thoroughly brainwashed every week to be reset. Oh, I was just born yesterday. It's real simple. If you don't know history, then in the eyes of history, you were born yesterday. Wise up, people. You know why? Because this has been said already, and guess who this was said by? Somebody who Elon Musk would claim is his counter, his complete opposite. Alexander Ocasio-Cortez said this same bullshit just 6 years ago. Here's the one not so obvious reason AOC supports raising lawmakers' pay. Could actually help reduce the influence of money in politics. No, it's very simple. If you want to reduce the influence of money on politics, you draft legislation that doesn't allow insider trading, that doesn't allow these politicians to trade. In my ideal government, if you want to be a politician, you have fewer rights. You want to have that power, you want to have that influence, guess what? You no longer have the right to privacy. You're going to be fucking recorded everywhere you go. All of your files are going to be open for the public. You want to be a politician, you want to have this power that can potentially corrupt you, then guess what? We're going to take your rights away. Not all of them, of course, but we're going to take many of them away while you're a politician, and you're going to be the most transparent individual in the world, where some people might even think that you're a fucking ghost. Because that's how governments should actually be ran. All of these people, they have no philosophy, they have no wisdom, they have no understanding as to actually what's going on and what needs to be done to correct this shit. It's all corruption. You gotta throw the baby out with the bathwater here, folks. We gotta have a whole new system implemented. You can't just throw the bathwater out with this one, okay? The Constitution was designed for this. All of you have no idea the history of this government, the history of this Constitution, the history of this world. I showed the family tree of Donald Trump. He is a direct descendant of Charlemagne, the founder of the Holy Roman Empire. He is a direct descendant of the people that started the German Empire. It's been going on for a long time, folks. A very, very, very long time. All of these other supposed truthers, they want you to believe that this is recent, that, oh no, the government was just hijacked, that these folks just came in, these corrupt people only just came in, this is all new. No, it's very, very long-standing, and it's very, very serious. Let's move on. Here's more of the blatant lies. Dodge claims that it saved $8 billion by canceling a single contract. It was actually an $8 million contract. This raises a lot of questions. They're lying to you. There are no questions. We already know these things. These people have no problem lying directly to your face. This clown Elon Musk, I advise everybody to check out Thunderfoot on YouTube. I might have him up here. Thunderfoot on YouTube. He's been exposing the crap out of Elon Musk for a very long time, even before Elon Musk was riding Trump's coattails. This guy should be arrested for fraud. He's lied about his vehicles. He's lied about pretty much all of his products. He's been frauding investors. He should be in jail. There's a reason why he's not. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go here to now look at DeSantis. I don't even like Andrew Tate. I think this guy is a POS of the highest order. Andrew Tate and brother face Florida investigation as Governor DeSantis says they are not welcome. What was the probable cause for that investigation? Zero probable cause. They probably aren't even actually investigating it. It could just be a show. It could just be simple virtue signaling. But the fact that this is even a news article is pretty frightening and shows the kind of person that DeSantis is. Let's move on to our next article. RFK Jr. makes shock U-turn on processed food that could anger Maha base. Of course he did. And that's exactly what they do, the bait and switch. Get people to worship them, think that they're doing something admirable, and then completely backtrack. Exactly what Trump did in his first term. Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to arrest Hillary Clinton, psych people up, get their fucking psychology to worship them, get that cult of personality built up, and then when you pull the rug out from under them, those people are now going to blame other forces. Oh, it wasn't them, it was the deep state. These people understand how to manipulate the masses' minds more than you realize. And they've done it time and time and time and time again. And that's exactly why I know exactly where we're going with this whole mineral deal nonsense. Let's move on to our next article. Thank You Jesus sign creator charged with child sex abuse as ministry removes all reference to him. Most of these people that hide behind this Jesus nonsense are these sick individuals. Tech experts freak over video of two bots conversing in their own secret language after realizing they're both AI. So you have this video right here. It's like somebody set up a computer, then they set up this phone, and they're claiming that this is two AI programs talking to each other. Then they claim that once they realize that they're both AI programs, they start talking in like some robot language. It's fucking fake, people. This is a fake video. And people actually buy this shit. Like, they have no idea how easily it is to trick the masses. But yet it's being reported by the news as if it's a real thing. Like, this really happened. Well, yeah, it really happened, but it was staged. I'm not saying the video is fake. I'm not saying the whole video is fucking fake. I'm saying this can be very easily faked by just doing this programming. You can even have pre-recorded this with this screen and just have this look like, oh yeah, they're both talking. No. It's fake. Okay, it's scripted, just like everything else in our reality nowadays. Honestly, I can't remember when I've seen so much scripted nonsense being pumped into the media, being pumped into our homes, into our brains. Anyway, we got this article here. Governor Hochul orders CUNY to remove Hunter College Palestinian Studies job posting. Calls probe into anti-Semitic theories. Yeah, we're not going to probe any anti-white theories. No, we're going to probe these anti-Semitic theories. You mean history? Are you talking about that? Are you talking about facts? No, we can't have these Palestinian studies. Because that would be an anti-Semitic theory. We've got to crack down on that free speech and free information. Now, this article, of course, we're stepping away from politics, sort of. This shit is hilarious. Stunned driver 85 is fined for crash that happened in 1960 that he can't even remember. That's right, this 85-year-old Canadian, this is in Canada, an elderly Canadian driver was left in shock as he learned his license had been suspended over an accident that happened in 1960 that he can't even remember. He's like, I don't even think that accident happened. They're claiming that he was in this accident and that he didn't have insurance. But he's like, at this time, I worked as like, he worked as something. I forget exactly what it was. But it was something that required him to have insurance. But they're still coming after him. Pretty wild stuff. Grandmother arrested for holding sign offering conversation outside Scottish hospital performing abortions. So I talked about this also in one of my previous videos. I'm not sure if it was last video or the video before that. But I had mentioned how this person who I've been subscribed to for a long time, Goodfellas, he had the cops come to his house because he was talking about police arresting this lady who was silently praying outside some place. I don't even think it was an abortion clinic. It was something else. So this lady, she's not even like praying. She's just offering conversation. Now the craziest thing is that this law that they're hitting with this lady can actually apply to private dwellings that are within a certain amount of distance from an abortion clinic. Check this out. Everyone has the right to, where is it? It doesn't, when reached for comment, where is it? So yeah, it's the Abortion Services Safe Access Zones Act, which went into effect in September 2024, right? The law prohibits any protest of or vigils from taking place within 200 meters or 656 feet of 30 clinics offering abortion services in Scotland. But the law specifies that the safe access zone could be extended if considered appropriate. So they want to extend this. But this actually applies to your home. Everyone has the right to approach, where's it at, right? It isn't right to deprive anyone beliefs. This is just them. When reached for comment, whatever. Let's read. We're made aware of a group of protesters having gathered in the, they're protesters. Officers attended a 74-year-old arrested and charged in connection. England and Wales have a similar version of the law that criminalizes the act of influencing someone's decision to access abortion services within 150 meters. The United Kingdom expanded its so-called buffer zone law to apply to the area around every abortion facility nationwide. starting October 31st. The move, okay, it's devastating. Where's it at where it says, okay, here we go. But McLatchy Miller said prohibitions of the Scottish buffer zone law even extend inside people's homes if they live within 200 meters of an abortion facility. A letter sent to residents explains that the law, in general, applies to public places within the area, but can also apply to activities in a private place, such as a house, within the area between the protected premises and the boundary of a zone. Okay, this is so much like Imperial Rome. In Imperial Rome, you didn't really have freedom of speech. A person could not address the public at their own capacity. In Imperial Rome, only designated people could influence the public's decision making. This is identical to that. Let's move on though. So, shocking moment. We're just going to cover some like ridiculous news here. This is just something that made me laugh. We got this 16-year-old boy. He squeals and collapses in court after being told he'll be tried for murder as an adult. This is something I actually do like. These clowns. These clown kids. He comes into the courtroom acting all tough. He killed somebody. He tried to kill another person. They tell him, actually, you're going to be tried as an adult. Oh my God, I'm going to be held accountable for my actions. Good. We should be more prone to giving the death penalty out to people. So anyway, let's look at this. Billionaire Hamas official, this is going to be our last article. Billionaire Hamas official admits he would not support October 7th attack now, after seeing the destruction it has brought to Gaza. What are you, retarded? Did you not foresee this? Of course you foresaw this. But of course you work with those who are in power. You knew this would be the outcome, and this is exactly what you all wanted. You have a bunch of ignorant people following you, capable of doing these things. Who knows? Maybe even all those people who carried it out, they're probably well protected. They do it. Other people face the consequences. Anyway, folks, I'm exhausted, like I said, so I'm making this a quick video. Oh, actually, wait a second. There is a couple of images I believe I have here. And actually, speaking of Gaza, this is the last thing that I really want to cover, right? Actually, this will be our last thing, right? So I saw this stuff. I took screenshots of this because I know that the website that's covering this, Al Jazeera, they're covering this in a way that makes this information disappear very quickly. For some reason, instead of posting individual articles about what's happening in Gaza, they're posting almost like a timeline feed. All of their articles, when you click on them, you get sent to this timeline, and then everything stacks into that timeline, making it very difficult to get information from this timeline that occurs like a month ago. So now I've wised up to this, and I decided to start taking screenshots, right? So we got this first one, right? Over 586,000 children receive polio vaccines in Gaza. So the UN Children's Agency, the UNICEF, says that it has almost reached its target of immunizing children in Gaza against polio. More than this many children, as I said, 586,000, 99% of our target have been vaccinated against polio in just 4 days. In just 4 days. Now, this is odd. I find this very odd because check this out. Israel will allow that to happen, but they have no problem allowing babies die from cold in Gaza as Israel prevents entry of mobile homes. So Israel has no problem with vaccines rolling in there and being given to all these kids, but if they need shelter to go in there to protect against a real danger, against cold, they're like, nah, we're not going to let that happen. So it makes one think. It makes one kind of go, what's actually going on here with these polio vaccines? Polio vaccines have a very interesting history. A lot of people believe that HIV was basically spread in Africa through a polio vaccine program. So it's really interesting what's going on there. I wouldn't be surprised. And remember, I believe there was actually there was another historical event where they used the vaccine to make it so like a certain population couldn't have babies. Like they used vaccines to sterilize a certain population. Now, I'm not saying that's what's happening now, but I won't be surprised if we see news articles about that in the future. But anyway, I'm going to end this video here. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay focused, stay sharp, but stay vigilant too. And maybe consider supporting one of the only truthers out here spreading the truth. If you don't support me, that's fine. I understand. You guys got better shit to throw your money at, like, you know, the powers that shouldn't be. You gotta keep giving money to whatever your cable bill or to some streaming service that's providing you with more fucking programming to brainwash your brain. I understand. You guys gotta put money towards that shit. You can't put money towards actually supporting somebody who's the real McCoy. But that's fine. You guys can go fuck yourselves. The rest of you, stay happy, stay healthy, stay sharp, and by that I mean very few of you. So take it easy, be safe. I'm out.
You gonna rejoin the Living Tomorrow stand? You got to feel the pressure closing in on you, then you get ready to rock. Now get focused. Now get the fuck off my team.